baby. Hit it.
What's up guys, this is Bliptus here. Today I'm going to do a review on the Ninebot Max G2 electric scooter. This one here is marketed as the performer or high-end scooter from the company, and the reason being is because it features a much more comfortable ride compared to all other e-scooters. And I just purchased this myself. So I've had this for a few days now and I kind of tested it out every single day, and I gotta say, this thing is pretty great. I really love this thing. I'm gonna do an overview of the product right now, just to show you what sort of features this thing has, as well as you guys know that in my reviews, I do the pros and the cons always, because I wanna be able to inform you guys, my viewers, or for anybody that's in the market for an e-scooter, to have a better informed purchase decision for your own e-scooter. And I'll go through what I really like about this e-scooter and why I chose this one to be mine. Okay, so let's do an overview of this Ninebot Max G2 scooter. Let's start by the power button. To power it on, you just hold down the button and it'll just power on like so. Right now you see P indicates it's in parking mode. All right, this is in kilometers an hour. I'm here in Canada. I have S. S means sport mode. That's the fastest acceleration, also the fastest speed that this thing will go on. To change the mode, there's two other modes. You can go into eco mode. All you do to change the modes is you double tap this power button, 1, 2, and it's gone into eco mode. You can do it again and it'll go into drive mode, which is the normal mode. Now, drive mode actually caps the speed limit to, I think, 25 kilometers an hour. I tend to like to be a speed demon and I go faster, so I'll usually keep it in sports mode. Eco mode, obviously, it is exactly what it means. Eco, it saves battery. It goes very slow and it's just a very cruising speed, especially if you're low on battery. Go into eco mode and get yourself home. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it in sports mode. Okay, you see that I accidentally pressed it once and this green headlight indicator came on. All right, that's the headlight right there. If you press it once, it turns on and off, just once. And it's off now. See that? Now it's off. I'll do it again. On, off. Okay. And that's pretty much the basics of this scooter. Now, left side handlebar brake. This uses a cable, a handle, and this cable goes down to this drum system here, this braking drum system, and you have brakes. Also on top of that, when you're braking, it does have regenerative braking in the back. This is where the motor is. So I find that for myself, usually when I'm cruising, I just lightly tap the brakes because I don't really want to wear out the drums too fast. So I lightly tap it. I make sure that I keep my distance from traffic, so then at least it slows down by itself, and it's pretty great. Overall feels pretty safe. Okay, next on this handle you have the horn, which is quite loud. Check this out. It's like this loud beep, which is really great, especially when you're on trails like this and there's somebody on the way and you just want to warn them ahead of time that you're coming. One little tap, it's nice. Okay, next is the indicator button. The indicator button you just indicate by pressing left or pressing right, and if you want to turn on hazards, you double press any side and that will indicate both sides here. And you'll also be able to see the indicators here on the screen. Okay, and to turn it off, you just press on any side here, left, and press it again. So to turn it off, actually, let me just show you. Let's say if I'm indicating left, it won't stop indicating unless you press the same side button. There it is, and it just turns off. And I like that it has front and rear, especially the front here, and they've kind of sort of angled it up. If you can kind of see, they angled it up, because when you're riding, you can see if you left the signals on. So that basically covers this side of the handlebar. This right side here, this clip here is for locking the scooter when you fold down the handlebars. This will lock into the bottom here. So let me just demonstrate that for you. You're going to push this little tab up. That unlocks the hinge from the inside here. And once you do that, you're gonna need two hands for this. You pull up the tab, you pull this out, while at the same time gently kind of like forcing this pull over on this side here. And then it kind of just pops up. All right. So the cool thing about this hinge is it's two stages. So watch when I pop it down like that, it kind of just pops into place. And it's not fully locked, but it's kind of like just sort of like attached. And it is kind of like, you see here, it won't budge, but it is unsafe. So if you do hit like a big hill, it might unlatch itself. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to make sure you pop this in and lock it into position, okay? And once you've lowered the handle down like so, that tab that's on the handle here that springs, you latch that on to the bottom, just like so. And once you have it latched, you're ready to lift the scooter up. Next is this right here. This is the accelerator. You just press this if you want to go, and it will go. The further you press down, the faster you will go. Down below here is the charge port. This is where you're going to stick your charger in. This port here. This one here is for fast charging. That's an optional accessory that you have to purchase additionally, but what's included is on this side here. It takes about 5 hours to charge from 0 to full, and it's pretty good. What I also really like about this scooter is that it has hydraulic suspension system, making it a much smoother ride. You can see this is, I think, one of the newer version scooters. They had one before where it's just a straight steel pipe, and that was a much more rougher ride. And I really like that it also has mud guards here, because you can see going through ridings, it just spits up dirt, especially on wet pavement or whatever. In the back here are shocks. These are adjustable from soft to hard. If you stick your tool in here, you can turn these left or right, this little ring here, and that will adjust the suspension style. Now, if you're a person that likes a smoother ride, you definitely want to change to the soft mode all the way to the left, which I have it set on soft right now. Or if you're someone who likes a much more sturdier ride, you can just turn it to the right, the ring, and both sides here. You got to adjust both sides. Make sure you do that, and that will give you a much firmer ride, more of a sport style. This scooter also features 8 reflectors, especially if you're riding at nighttime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 reflectors to keep you safe. And also when you tap on the brakes, the lights will turn on in the rear, making it easy for people to know that you're slowing down. If you're someone who just bought this scooter and you didn't change any settings to it, what you're gonna have to do is put the kickstand up, all right? And you're gonna have to kickstart the scooter forward to a certain speed before it will activate the accelerator pedal. Lift the kick rest up and then push start before you press the accelerator pedal. And then you'll hear a beep, and then you can just go. Now, if you're someone who adjusted to 0 kilometers an hour as a starting speed, what you're going to have to do is first press the brake pedal here, and then you'll hear a beep. And once you hear that beep, it means that you're able to accelerate. And so in my case, I put it to 0 kilometers an hour. I press down the brake, it goes beep beep, and I just could accelerate from a dead stop like this. One of the features of this thing is cruise control. And when you're buying this scooter, make sure you are very aware of the cruise control feature and how to turn that on. There's 2 ways to turn the cruise control on, which you can change in the setting here. And cruise control is one of the godsend feature of e-scooters, because when you're riding for a long time, you're gonna have thumb fatigue. and just because of the accelerator, how the accelerator designed, and doing this all the time throughout your ride, it's very tiring. All right, so this scooter has a cruise control function, which I'm going to demonstrate here. So when you're riding the scooter, you ride it until the speed that you want to cruise on, just like a normal car. So in this case, let me just cruise at 10 kilometers an hour, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is, as I'm putting the throttle down, I'm going to hold the indicator button any side, left or right, doesn't really matter. And you're going to hold it down for 3 seconds until you hear a beep. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm cruising at 13. Press down on both the throttle and the indicator. And you hear that beep. That beep means that I'm on cruise control mode now. And see there's that little cruise indicator on the screen. And no hands, no throttle. You see that? And you just hold onto the handlebars, both sides, and you're going to cruise that speed regardless, no matter what. Going up a hill, down a hill, it's going to try to maintain this speed that you've set. Okay? Now, let's say, for instance, you want to go faster and you do hit the accelerator button. That is going to cancel cruise control. The same thing goes if you hit the brake button. So in this case, let's pretend I wanted to accelerate faster. I'm just going to go accelerate and cruise control comes off. And I'm going to accelerate to the speed that I want. Let's say now I want to cruise at 18. Same thing. Try to maintain that speed. Hold the button down on the left side for 5 seconds. Oh. If it like in this case, if it determines that you're trying to speed up and it's a variable, like if you're not trying to maintain the speed, it won't set the cruise control. So I'll try to do that again. 16 now. And cruise control is on. I've got set at 17. You see that? Now, let's say if I want to brake, all I need to do to cancel the cruise control, just tap the brake. And now cruise control just turned off and I'm slowing down. I should also mention with this cruise control feature, you only want to turn this on when the environment is not complex, such as this trail where it's flat, even road, and easy to navigate, where I can predict exactly the path of where I'm going. In environments where it's a little bit more complex, like turns and hills, you want to be able to manually control your e-scooter with the throttle and the brakes. That way you're in full control and you won't hurt anyone riding your e-scooter. Now, cruise control isn't available in every country, so you got to check your laws, your scooter laws. When you register with the app, it'll enable it or disable it depending on where you're located. Okay, I'm located in Canada, so cruise control is available here, and it's a really great feature if it's available. Spec-wise also, the rear motors on the sticker here on the side of the scooter, it says it's 450 watt nominal, but on the box and also online marketing material says that rear motor is 1,000 watt output max. In my opinion, it does feel about 1,000 watt, because you got to keep in mind this thing is a lot heavier than many other scooters out there. This one here is about 50 pounds, so it's going to have to push the weight of the scooter itself as well as your body weight. And I'm 160 pounds and I go pretty quick on this thing, so I think it's about 1,000 watts, and I think that's about true. Battery wise, this thing is rated at 551 watt hours, and that's what it's indicated on this side of the sticker here. Another spec is this thing can climb 22% grade slopes. In my opinion, yes, it does, and it does it with ease. Now, if you're going to climb up hills that are more than 22% grade slope, you make sure you have a runway where you're speeding up and to allow the scooter to speed up to max speed and then go up the hill if that's possible. Otherwise, you're forced to walk the scooter up the hill if the grade is way too steep. I'm going to show you right now my experience with the slopes. You can see from this camera angle how steep this hill is. I just found out that this scooter isn't able to make it up this hill from a dead start. So I'll show you and demonstrate. I have the acceleration at max level right now. I have it in sport mode as well. So basically I have it at max power that this thing will output. Mind you, this is a 1000 watt motor down below here, right in the rear. And based on the angle, I'm not sure what percentage this hill is, maybe 30, 40 maybe. And it's just barely getting up the hill, and then once it stops, it will literally zero power and it'll start rolling back. So you've got to be very, very careful with this thing here when you're going up a hill. Let me try that again. Going up, and it slowly loses power, and once it can't go anymore, it cuts power completely and you start rolling back. So that's something you got to be very careful about if you're going up a very, very steep hill. I think these are only rated 22% grade. I think this hill here is much more than that. So it's just a test. So if you do end up going up a big hill, make sure you have a running start, like you're going a certain speed, because that will really help it get up the hill. So there's a hill just right up here. It's about slightly the same grade that I was trying to get up earlier. And I'm gonna set the acceleration here to max speed, and I'm gonna go up this just to demonstrate that this thing can go as long as you have a runway. As long as you build up some speed to go up the hill, all right? And right here, I have it on sport mode as well. We're about 3 out of 5 bars on battery, and we're gonna see if I can make it up this hill here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm starting off at about 25, 26 kilometers, 30 kilometers. All right, now we're starting to ascend. That's a bump, 29, slowing down now, 27, 25. 23. All right, we're at 18 kilometers, just about to reach the top hill. And it's steadied out at 18. So now I'm picking up speed and I'm on the top, okay? So just to show you that it's possible. The new footboard here is 180 millimeters in length, which allows you to not even think about it. Every time you hop on the scooter, in my experience anyway, when I hop on this scooter, I don't even have to think about where my feet's going, because there's always space for it to go somewhere. And that's pretty awesome. And sometimes you actually see around the city, whoever owns this as well, they're gonna be double riders, which I don't recommend, but it's possible to ride with 2 people on there. Also featured in the Max lineup, they have these 10-inch tires that are self-healing. Inside the tire, there's a jelly-like layer that self-heals any holes that are 4 millimeters or less. This is a brand new scooter for me, so I've not had any punctures in this tire just yet, but if I do, I'm hoping to see that it does seal itself. Just because it's self-sealing doesn't mean that you don't have to check the tire pressures regularly. I do recommend you do check it every single time you take it out for a ride, because having the proper tire pressure affects your range and also the way it rides. This scooter is IPX5 rated. What that means is that this thing is not waterproof, but it's water resistant, meaning it also is splash and rain proof. I don't recommend taking a pressure washer to it, or maybe not even hosing it down too hard or close, but it is okay to ride in the rain. Also, the features of this scooter is anti-skid traction control, which you can turn on through the app. And those are the safety features of this e-scooter. That's why this thing is a premium scooter. It has all the bells and whistles. All right, let's go through the pros and the cons of this product here. In my experience, I have a lot of pros, but very few cons. So let's talk about it. First thing is very comfortable ride. This thing, because it has dual suspension and pneumatic tires, both together make this thing jump over cracks and bumps quite easily. You go for a ride and you won't feel very sore. Second pro, this thing is well built. This thing is so premium, it feels premium. It feels like it's going to last for a long time. Third thing is app connection. I really like that this thing pairs with the Segway Ninebot app, where inside that app you can adjust all the settings that you need for this thing. In there you can adjust the speed, the deceleration, acceleration, as well as the charging limits for someone who's conscious about their battery health and you want to make sure that this thing lasts a long time. You can limit the charge rate up to 80% on this lithium-ion battery. The fourth thing I really like about this scooter is that it has safety built in mind, with the lights and the reflectors and the mud guards and the loud horn. This thing is really great to ride, and you feel really safe, especially at nighttime when you're riding. You're seen and you're safe, and that's very important for me. Fifth pro is I don't have any battery anxiety with this e-scooter. One full charge lasts me the entire day and more. Especially if I have it on eco mode, it'll last me way longer. And I've taken it out for a ride the entire day today, and you can see that the day is about to end, and I still got a lot of juice left in here to take me home, and even more so for tomorrow. So that's one of the great things about this e-scooter, is that the range is great. Battery anxiety, none for me. All right, so those pretty much are the pros that I find with this e-scooter. I really enjoy it, I really love it, and it's pretty great. It's a great product. Now, there are two cons that I found about this thing. The first one being something quite important to consider if you're purchasing this e-scooter here. The first con is that this thing weighs 50 pounds. It's not easily carryable with one arm, one hand, for long distances. You can do it with short distances if you're strong enough. For me, I can do it in short distances, like carrying it up a flight of stairs. But for most people, you're gonna need two arms to do this, okay? This is something to consider if you're a person who commutes, maybe let's say downtown, and you have to go through a bunch of buildings or something like that. Yeah, really think about it. Or if you can, try to go find a demo unit and try to lift that before you purchase, because the weight is something you definitely need to consider on this one, okay? Number two is not a deal breaker, but it's just something that I've noticed, and it's not really that big of a con, to be honest. It doesn't include a tire pump, okay? You're gonna have to go buy your own tire pump, which is okay. Some are very cheap at your local, at your local store, and that's totally fine. So you just gotta buy a tire pump when you purchase this. It's not included, but they do include the extension for it, the hose extension, which is okay. So that's it. That's all I got for this review. This is my review of the Max G2 by Ninebot Segway, and I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope that this has made you a much better informed buyer if you're in the market for this exact same model. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Peace out.